everything about you, and then you're going to have to turn your back and walk back away. Ultimately, that is not true. Believe it or not, nobody actually thinks about you more than you do. Think about yourself. And when it comes down to it, people want to hear your story. So I'm going to take you back to 2018. 2018, I was 20 years old. I was actually in the hospital for attempted suicide. And I remember being in that hospital and being told, hey, we understand that you want to do so much, but because you struggle with anxiety and depression, ADHD, you'll never be able to do certain things that other people can do. So in order for you to be successful in life, you have to work 10 times harder. And we don't think that you'll be able to do it. And the first thing that came in mind was, who are they to tell me that I can't do something? Who are people to tell you what you can and cannot do? They do not have control over you. They do not own you. They ultimately they are not you. And because they are not you, they do not know what you are capable of. And hearing that, it it can actually bring a spark into you where you have that mentality of, who the hell are they to tell me what I can and cannot do? And I'm going to go out and prove to myself that I can do this, and I'm going to prove to them that I can do it as well. So let me ask you this. If you've heard that question, what are you doing to prove yourself wrong? And what are you doing to prove your doubters wrong? And when it comes to telling your story and seeing the young adults, ultimately you have to come to them and you have to tell them what it is like to live in this real world, what we call the real world. And ultimately that means being able to have a success mindset, but also having a selfless mindset. And what do I mean by that? Having a success mindset, you're doing anything and everything that you can do to possibly reach your next level, reach that next step to get to where you want to be. You're at the bottom of the totem pole, you want to get to the next level so that you can be at the top of the totem pole. But when you have a selfless mindset and a success mindset, you take you out of it and you put the young adult at the center. And when you put them at the center, you are actually teaching them what it's like to not always expect something out of what they do. We tend to get upset when we don't get a thank you or we don't get paid for something. But seeing the change in someone is payment enough. It's so much better than a monetary value, in all honesty. And seeing our young adults grow and seeing them go out and help the community, help others, and help the next generation behind them is ultimately the goal. And seeing them do that will ultimately bring you a joy that maybe money will not be able to bring. And it's always so important to know that when you do this, you have to take yourself out of it. You know, we also have to take our emotions out of it. You ever heard the saying, there's no emotions when in motion? It's actually true, because if you always expect something, you are going to get upset when it is not given. If you don't get the credit, you're going to get upset. It's a proven point, it's a proven fact. And so ultimately, what it comes down to is taking your emotions out of it and saying, hey, I understand that this didn't work out, but let's go to the next step. What did you learn from that previous step? Okay, you failed, but you didn't fail. You learned a lesson. And that's what we have to look at failure as, a lesson that is learned. And then we also have to encourage our young adults to pursue their goals. We've all been told, as I've stated, of what we were not going to be able to do. And that's one thing, but to also go out and tell someone that they'll never be able to achieve something and to crush their dreams, that's not empowering them. That's making them a shell of who they truly are. You are dimming the light, maybe because your dreams did not work out. But honestly, did your dreams not work out because you didn't put in the work or because you didn't put in the work? So stop crushing our young adults' dreams and let's tell our story of how we went through our trials, our tribulations, and our setbacks, and how to continue going forward even when things are coming up short. So, you know, I just want to offer and tell you, if you are ready to get into the point where you're ready to tell your story, but you're afraid to, I would definitely love to connect with you and just hear why you are afraid to tell your story. And also, you know, I'm going to leave you with this quote. Nobody knows who you are until you speak on who you are, what you are, and how you plan to make the change. So, thank you.
Let's give Deshaun a big round of applause. Oh my goodness, we were going crazy in the chat, all the juicy nuggets. I love, my goodness, we have some amazing themes with this speaker block: empowering men, empowering youth. I was thinking of the, that funny meme, Oprah, she's like, you get a car, you get a car, you get a car, you get a car, you get empowered, you get empowered. And it all starts here. And I just love how you parsed apart and all the amazing stories you shared around that growth mindset. And, it's really crushing when people dim other people's light. And it's really unfortunate when I shared this in a couple hours ago in one of our speaker blocks, when protection, I just want to protect you, actually is projection, right? Just because it didn't work for you or you don't want to do it doesn't mean that other person can't do it. So thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for just putting that beautiful mindset that we all need to embrace throughout every phase in our journey, just putting that right on the forefront. So let's give Deshaun another big round of Purpose Pioneers applause. As always, make sure you are connecting with any of the humans that moved you, that inspired you. Something so awesome that always happens out of our events. So much collaboration, so much connection happens. People start partnering together, doing business together. So although our summit is coming to a close, this really is just the beginning.